So hello everyone, in this video I will show you how this field application works. So as you can see, we have here user interface, and this user interface is consist of a text box and buttons. So these buttons has a corresponding function. For example, this button is named as a count all digits button, and its function is to count all the digits or return the length of the digits entered by the user. So where can user enter a number? So the user can enter a number here on the text box. So let's try to put some number. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. So the user input a number with a length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So the count all digits button will count all the digits entered by the user. So we have here 7 digits. So we are expecting for a result of 7. So let's try to press this button. So says here that the total number of digits entered is 7, which is true because the number entered by the user has a length of 7. So this button, as I said earlier, will count all the digits entered by the user. Let's proceed to the second button, which is the count all even button. So count all even button will count all the even numbers in the number entered by the user. So here is the number entered by the user. So let us first know what are the even numbers. So even numbers are numbers divisible by 2 and return or generate a remainder of 0. So we are expecting for a 2 and 4 numbers as a result for this one, because 2 and 4 are even numbers because they are divisible by 2. They can be divisible by 2 and will generate a 0 remainder. So let's try to press this button. So say says that there are 5 even numbers, which is the 2 and 4, 4, 4, 4, or 4, 4, like that. So let's proceed to the third button. The third button is the count all odd button. So count all odd button will count all the odd numbers in the text box. So what is odd numbers? So odd number are numbers that cannot be divisible by 2, and it always generates a 1 remainder. So we are expecting for 1 and 3 as a result, because 1 and 3 cannot be divisible by 2 and will result a remainder. So let's see, it's true. So it says here that there are 2 odd numbers, the 1 and 3. So far so good, the buttons are working well. So this count occurring button, this fourth button, will count all the occurring numbers, or the numbers repeated the most in the text box, or the most repeated numbers. So what are the most repeated numbers here? So it is clear that we have a 4 that repeated 4 times here. So we are expecting that it is the result. It is the answer if we press this button. So let's try. So the most occurring digit is 4. So it's true that the 4 is the most occurring digit because it is repeated 4 times, and it is the most repeated numbers in the text box. So in this fifth button, which is the search button, it will ask the user for a number that he or she want to find in this, or in this number, or the number in the text box. So let's try. Press this search and a prompt will appear. So enter a number. So we will enter a number that we want to find here in the number entered in the text box. So let's try number 3. So if we press this OK, it says here that the 3 do exist because we have here a number 3. So this search button is working. So the last button is clear all. So the clear all button will clear all the input numbers here and the result here. So if you press this clear all button, boom, the text box will be empty and the result is empty. So if we input here a number and we press this button, an alert message will show that invalid input, must input a number same as these buttons. So if we leave this text box empty and we attempt to press this button, alert message will show that says that the field is empty or the text box is empty. So this is how it works. So later on I will show you the code of every buttons, and I will show you how this user interface is made. So before I show you the code, by the way, we use 3 languages here in this project. So we use HTML, we use CSS for the design of this user interface, and JavaScript for the code of these buttons. By the way, the buttons are placed in HTML, so we made the button using HTML. So we have here a HTML file. So this HTML file is responsible for the buttons in this project. So the buttons in this text box are made through the HTML or using HTML. So the CSS files are responsible for the structure or the design of the page. So it's responsible for the color, the background, these animations, and in this JavaScript file, so we write the code here that is being executed on by clicking the buttons. So without this code, those buttons are nothing, or it won't show you any result.
Function check. It checks if the input data is valid or not. Function count digits. It determines how many digits was entered and transfer it to an array. Function count even. This function only counts even numbers. We use this formula to get the even numbers. Function count add. It only counts odd numbers, just like count even but different formula. Function count occurring. This function searches the most occurring or repeated. Function find. This function finds the entered number by typing a number in a prompt. Function clear all. This function resets the input and or output of the program.